Are you dreaming of the lifestyle that comes with successful trading? Well, it's time to make it a reality. Welcome to the Trading Ascension podcast, where you can discover methods to improve your trading results by focusing on your trading psychology. I'm Jason E., your guide on this path to trading improvement, self-discovery, and self-mastery. Together, we'll explore the personal and spiritual growth journey of profitable day trading. Prepare to unlock the secrets of the trader's mind and align your inner self with your personal success. Listen to this episode if you want to ascend to new levels of trading excellence and personal development. This is Trading Ascension, supporting your journey to mastering trading psychology and personal growth for consistent profits. Let's elevate your trading and your consciousness starting now. What's good, traders? In today's episode, we'll walk through setting up the foundation for your trading business that will help you produce desired results. This show is about the topic of how you are trading. When I say how, I mean our state of being. A state of being is a combination of factors that either contribute to and support your success, or they ruin your chances of success. If you don't have a solid state of being, if it's inconsistent or unclear, you'll find correlations to bad trading performance. Maybe you experienced this. How many times have you made a mistake and afterwards you thought, I knew better, or damn, I missed that yield sign, ran right through that stop sign and that warning. You didn't trust yourself and that small voice. At that moment, we don't have the awareness that's needed to act in our own best interest. And I remember one time before, I've talked about, I made a rule to not trade the open when I had a meeting within 30 minutes. And one time I decided to do it anyway, right? I opened the Ninja Trader platform and I got some weird error, right? Random. And it was really saying, hey, don't do this. It said my platform is being used by another source or something. I was like, what? Am I getting hacked or something? And it turns out it was just something with my documents drive. But instead of saying, okay, I'll figure this out when it's the time to do that, focus on the upcoming responsibilities, I took it as a challenge to fix and trade in a small window. I ran through a stop sign only to get in an accident and have negative results, right? I took a turn into a lower state of being, which was avoidable. And I'm talking about this topic because recently I took the time and revisited it. Then my results improved my next trading session and they're on out. And my trading experience was better. I noticed a decrease in fear, less anxiety. I had more detachment. There's levels. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a new level of this. I surpassed my daily goal, tripled it, while I was still maintaining my plan integrity. And all after just spending some time over the weekend visiting this topic that I'm going to share with you today. A lot of accomplished traders talk about this in passing. And I learned this, I guess I put it together and understood it was a thing that I should focus on by deciphering conversations with Paula T. Webb. But nowhere that I found can you find a deep dive like this. So I'm okay with saying it's a secret to your success, as the title suggests. The data I track related to my trading tells me, amongst a lot of other things, but it tells me my state of being is key to my performance and success. And some might say, what the hell is my state of being? And others might think, oh yeah, Jason E., that's pretty obvious. It is kind of obvious, but there's so much going on, right? As we fan the flame, juggle the knives, spin the tornado, and hectically manage all the aspects of our trading business, sometimes lessons get put on the back burner, right? We know them, but it's not currently in our awareness. It's not. And if it's not in our awareness and it's not embodied and part of our routine, it's likely to not get implemented. But listen, don't let this reminder, don't let it lose its luster. Get this on your mind. Don't let it fall to the wayside after this. This is a primary action we need to build our business around. So make the information on this show top priority if you want to reach all your trading goals. If you don't do this at some point, there's a great chance, you're going to have similar struggles than what you had before. But if you do this, there's a great chance that this upcoming trading week, the next session after you do it will be better for you. So let's talk yourself into personal success with a thought exercise. Then we'll get to the action. So let's logically get to a place in which it makes sense for us to focus on the spiritual action of state of being. So step one of the thought exercise is a question. And so this is personal to you. I'll give some examples, but so it's personal to you. Think of your favorite mentor trader, right? The one you look up to, the one you admire. If that trader, right, the best trader in the world, ran your trading system, would they likely be profitable? Would they? If yes, then a focus on trading from an optimized state of being will enhance your trading journey. Let me tell you why. But if it was a no, right? If George Soros, who earned $1 billion with a B, breaking the Bank of England in just a single day, or Jesse Livermore or Steve Cohen, if they couldn't be profitable running your system, then you need to focus on fighting a working strategy. And this specific episode may not be for you. Others will, right? Just click on some older ones. But if a master trader could run your system better than you, then your execution and state of being may not be the main focus. But of course, this is hypothetical, right? The way your trading system is operated just might be the key to a thriving trading business. And so let me try another way, because I want you to grasp this before we move on. You have a vehicle, right? And you know that you can drive this vehicle, right? It has the potential to drive effectively, right? It's like your strategy. And you can drive it, but a professional driver, like an Indy car winner, right? Like Joseph Newgarden, he could probably drive it better, right? He's a better driver. If that is the case, right? And you can say a master trader would obtain favorable results if they took over your mind and your body during your last trading session, right? Did it for you. Then the logical next question is what is the difference between you now and that master trader? And there might be a few things you think of between you and, a Paul Tudor Jones. But underneath that is likely the fact that trader has a better state of being. It's encouraging once you understand this, right? Because it's not a lie to say that the path toward profitable trading is frustrating. It takes time. It's filled with setbacks and losses. But isn't it encouraging to know that the action you took in your last trading session, if done better, will provide the means to reach your goals? You may not feel like it, but my friend, you're so close. And I think you're brave enough to take on the most competitive game in the world. Kudos to you. And you're going to receive all the things that you can gain from trading. They will be yours. So I'm happy for you and I'm excited. And I hope to ignite your passion for this again, because it's bigger than dollars, right? And it's less about what you achieve and more about the person you had to become to achieve it. So to close the gap between you and the master trader that could hypothetically, trade better than you in your system, we need to focus on the state of being. I can tell you the wrong path, traders, to go down from this contemplation. It's like this, right? Let's say you say, yes, it's true. Oliver Velez could trade better than me if he ran my system. So what I'll do is I'm going to start over all my progress from zero, and I'm going to try to trade like him. You think you'll get different results not understanding you're driving the same, or you're the same driver in a different car. And some cars perform better, I get it. But you are starting from scratch learning this car when the car, aka system you had, has the same potential. Again, like all our conversations, this is a nuance. If your data sucks and you were your system doesn't work, you got to change it, right? Right. I'm not saying anything that we're painting ourselves in a corner, right? We're opening up doors. We're not closing any doors on ourselves. So this is a warning, right? That there is a more empowering path. And when we're on this path, I don't want you to take any wrong turns, right? So it's not about system jumping, which of course, Mark Douglas had said that, and many psychologists in trading, they put that on the list of red flags for being on the path of future quitting. And I'm not advising, you to not follow proven strategies from professionals, right? That's silly. I'm saying focus more on how they do it versus what they do. Focus on how they drive a vehicle and less on what vehicle they drive. Because we know if it's them as an operator, they could drive our car, meaning our trading system, with good results. If we know that, right, and we can say that, then it's not about the system. It's about who they are as a day trader. The difference truly, my friend, is in the state of being. You may be at times in a great state of being, but maybe you don't hold the line long enough. You're not consistent at being that version of you. So let's build off the foundation that we just created, right? Number one, the ground floor is the truth that a trader that you thought of earlier, your trading idol, would get good results if they took your strategy because they are a good trader themselves. Then we have to think about the skill in which they trade and understand that that's more than the strategy they trade. And then from there, we want to understand that the difference is not in that strategy, it's in their state of being. And state of being for this combination for this conversation is a combination of factors that can either contribute to and support your success or ruin your chances of success. And we're going to get clarity on our own state of being. So this week's input and this week's actions give us better results. And then the next logical question is, what state of being do you need to trade from? How do you achieve that? Everything that goes into those action steps. If you are the person ready for this message, the day you implement this will be a fork in the road that you'll never forget. You're going to look back in the near future and say, damn, once I focused on my state of being, things changed for me. So what state of being are we aiming for? What details of a state of being are needed, and how do you achieve and hold on to that state of being consistently? State of being. It consists of how you feel, how aligned you are with your ideal, and at any given moment. It's a specific form of personal clarity. So if you have clarity on the actions you need to take to reach success on this day, and you're feeling neutral or anything in the positive realm before excitement is goal repelling, then you have an optimal state of being. An optimal state of being has no baggage, no thoughts about things outside the required action. And of course, it lacks fear, anxiety, and lacks ambiguity. And I talk a lot about ambiguity, I know, because it's no doubt it's something that diminishes an optimal state of being. It's hard to act confidently when you don't know what you're doing. You can fake it, but in trading, there is no faking. It's just you taking action. There's no one to fool. So you need a written game plan, right? Let's just talk about the basics before we go over. To establish a state of being, it's simple, but I need to impress on you the importance of writing shit down. And this includes writing details of your trading system, of your ideal state of being. And there are some benefits to writing down. So let me sidestep here because I think this is important to hammer in. The benefit of logging data and journaling is it locks a state of being into reality and it preserves it. Otherwise, that moment is lost forever, despite, humans thinking that it's recorded mentally. Journaling is like taking a picture. You heard that saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Imagine, here's I guess, analogy, metaphor, whatever. Imagine you're on a road trip and you are passing a mountain range, right? So you and your passenger, you stop just to take a look, take some pictures. You both dwell in this moment, right? You're taking it all in, you're fully aware, and you're in awe of the beauty of nature. And then you're in the moment, right? As you should be. But before you take off, your passenger, not you, snaps a few photos, takes a video. And at that moment, the video starts, you see a cougar chasing a mountain goat, right? You look at your friend like, oh shit. You look back there, then there's a rock slide. Then it starts to get cloudy and you think, wow, fog out of nowhere. You're like, whoa, that was wild. That was crazy. It got crazy quick. Then you get back in the car, you drive another 4 or 5 hours until you stop at the night at a hotel on your road trip. And then that night, you can't help to think about that mountain, right? And then those events and how they played out. And you tell your friend, wow, that was crazy, man. You remember that cougar chasing that goat? It was like a panther almost, such a dark cougar. And then that rock slide and then the fog coming out of nowhere. Like I was in awe. And your friend looks at you and they're like, yeah, something like that. What do you mean? Well, look at this video. In the video, you see, oh, it's a bobcat, not a cougar, right? It was just running in the shadows of the mountain, but it wasn't black. It was indeed brown and white. Then you realize that rock slide was started because the animals running down the mountain, right, start shifting rocks. And the cloud, right, that you thought the fog moved in was actually just huge dust cloud from the rubble of the sliding rocks. And it's not, big things, but it was these little details that you just didn't remember. You remember being in awe, right? Feeling like that now, but in retrospect, on the video, you hear yourself screaming in fear. So it didn't go down exactly like you thought. And without that video, you would have fought hard for your personal truth. Now, I'm not saying your memory is terrible. I'm pointing out a few things that humans know as a fact. And the fact is we need to journal, right? Our current state of being, how we feel right now, it filters what we see in the world, literally. And there's a saying that you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. Totally true. Although we all think we have, virtues and truths that align with everyone, it's not true. The fact is there is no objective version of reality that we have access to. We only experience our version of reality. And that version of reality we think we experience is just an appearance. And until there's further investigation, we don't know the truths of that experience always. And this is why, a weekly trade review is important, because we all filter our reality through our state of being. So you being in awe, looking back at an event, paints the memory of that event in awe. One more thing on this before we move on, because I want to talk about the recalling of memories and how it changes memories, right? Not only does our state of being change the memories we have access to, but it filters the memory as it comes in. So have you heard of the brain process called reconsolidation? I want to tell you 3 truths about brain and memory from our current understanding of neuroscience, and then we'll continue our journey. But factor 1, memory as reconstruction. Our brains don't store perfect copies of events. Instead, memories are reconstructed each time we recall them, potentially incorporating new information or interpretations, right? Unbeknownst to us. And then there's malleability of memory. The process of recollection can involve rebuilding or piecing together memory using partial memories, clues, and logic to construct a picture. And for example, let's say in that, that mountain road trip story, you may not have known what time you stopped at the mountain, but the brain might think, okay, we drove about 5 hours, listened to this many albums, got to the hotel when it was dark. So that stop at the mountain had to be mid-afternoon, right? And so when I asked you, say, oh yeah, probably mid-afternoon we were at that mountain, right? So memories can be full of assumptions that we might see as hard facts. And then 3 is neuroplasticity. The neural networks involved in storing memories can be modified by the act of retrieval, potentially altering the original memory trace. And this is wild. So let me give you an example of how you recall a memory could change that memory slightly. So let's say the original event is your birthday, right? You're turning 10, you have this party at the local park, right? Sunny day, you wore a blue shirt, and your friend gave you this remote control car. Super cool. You were excited. So the first time you recall this event, let's say you're 15, 5 years later, and you recall the memory at 15 in a conversation with a friend or with the friend who gave you the car. And you just focus on how much fun you had with the friends and him or her. And then the neural pathways associated with social aspects of the memory, they're starting to strengthen, right? You're recalling more of those areas. And then let's say you recall it again, second time at 25 years later, you recall the memory again in conversation, but this conversation is about the love of cars.
We'll be back after a quick break.
At my current company, I've generated 7 figures in revenue in just 6 months doing all the sales by myself. Just me and Rumi, my secret weapon. Rumi isn't just another meeting app. It's like Zoom or Google Meet, but with AI tools that supercharge my results. Rumi records every meeting, gives me real-time insights during sales calls, and if I've met with a prospect in the past, Rumi's meeting memory answers any questions I have before the call. I don't waste time digging through notes. Rumi preps me instantly. Go to tryrumi.ai. That's tryrumi.ai for a 14-day free trial.
And you might be more focused on the gift that you received. And this time, the neural connections related to the remote control car are strengthened, while those related to other aspects like the weather, what you wore, might weaken if they weren't actively recalled. And then here you go again, it's 35, you're recalling the memory, and now you're recalling it in the context of a conversation with your parents about relationships and your parents. And then the neural pathways associated with your parents' presence at the party, which, you may not have focused on before, get strengthened, while other details might become less prominent. The way we recall a memory, the state we are in when recalling aspects, is what preserves or disregards the memory of that event. It's like making a copy of a copy of a copy. If you ever used a copy machine, you know that, many things lose their clarity and get weaker the more they're copied. So every time we pull a memory, we're not remembering the original event. We're remembering parts of the last time we remembered that event, also filtered to how we are being at that time. The point is, if you aren't logging trades and trade data and journaling the crucial details, the details that you could improve and grow from could be lost forever. Then on the contrary, right? Rereading a clear, detailed statement at the time that was written at the time of the event, it's going to provide the chance that more of the event's facts and truths are accurately retrievable because it's right there. You can read it, see it, hear it, right? Depending on how you log it. And you have a picture of a moment in time that's captured accurately. So how is this related to our trading? Let's say your ideal state of being is that feeling you had when you turned 10 on that birthday party. When you need that feeling to take action, it's going to be more easily and accurately retrieved and embodied later on from pictures, videos, written statements versus memory alone, right? So think about the moments we feel, maybe a bit down. It filters our life. Let's say you try to recall that 10th birthday and that joy, but at the moment you're sitting alone on your 25th birthday, sad because all the plans got canceled. That state will filter the memory and change it, right? It could add toxicity to the memory. So if we get super detailed in our understanding, then we'll clearly see that not only our memories are accompanied with feelings and states of beings, but the recalling state of being impacts the memories. And so that associated state of being can change the facts of the memory. So taking this back to trading, the goal is to trade from an optimal state of being. That's what a professional trader does. They trade in a mindset that allows them to take actions in their own best interest, more times than not. An optimal state of being is clarity on an ideal and clarity on actions to take from that ideal state. The actions to take from that ideal state is a written trading plan. And this is what I think is the minimum needed. Could be more, but just the minimum when it comes to this part. So let's talk about this part. We'll move on to the state of being, right? You need less ambiguity if you're going to trade from a high state of being, right? Or an optimal state of being. So you need your entry criteria, right? What you must see to enter a trade, crystal clear on it. You know, when that event happens, it's time to play. Not when an event similar or like it or almost happens, right? Just the events that are in your game plan. And then 2, you need to know how to manage a trade once you're in it, right? The trade is executed, scaling, trailing, etc. And then you need to know when to exit the trade. You know, those 3 factors I call a trading strategy. You take that strategy and you create a trading plan by adding some form of risk management, right? And then polishing your experience so you're cutting out what doesn't work. Experience creates an enhanced market context and it helps you make good decisions, right? Because when it comes to the state of being, addressing situations that you've addressed before with a solution is going to help you stay in that state of being. Huge part of that, taking action. So you hit the trading session knowing exactly how to act when you encounter an event. Then as you face new events, you can add them to your trading plan. You know, what just popped in my mind thinking of this is when you use a trade copier, sometimes or when I use a trade copier, sometimes the following accounts, they aren't aligned exactly, right, with the leader account. So let's say I enter with 3 contracts and then my following account only got filled on 2, right? It happens. But one of the worst experiences is when the first copier is closed out, right? That leader. And then I started logging only to realize that there was a following account still open going into negative P&L, right? Instead of being closed out as a winner with the first account, right? Now, I didn't know what to do, right? I had to figure out which account it was, what screen, right? Should I try to change to get to that screen to cancel it, right? Should I hit a flatten all button? Where's that at? And, I didn't know what tab maybe I should go to at the bottom to get to that contract, right? So I figured it out, right? Took the loss. Now, within my plan, I have a quick way to not only notice if there's any issues with the following account, but how to close them out quickly. So this ever-growing clarity is what looks natural when you watch traders you idolize. But it's not. It's not. They just embodied a way to act from experience. If you saw me trade and how quickly I navigated an issue with my trade copier following accounts, you'd think from the outside, wow, he just naturally knows what to do. That's not true, right? From failure, I enhanced my reaction to that. So building a masterful state of being starts with clarity on what you have to do. And then it has to be done from a spiritual and mental connection to our personal ideal. And that ideal is built from holding on or attachment in the moment to the proper beliefs of who you are. And this is different for all of us, but in general, we all need to be confident and feeling worthy of good results. So to sum this up, the difference between you and your trading guru is 1, a written plan of action, and 2, an optimized state of being. The state of being is inside you it's inside of you holding on to positive expectation and no baggage. Had some great coffee this day. So, going back to memory, right, and the way we know it functions, you can see how much of a risk you're taking trying to recall an action plan or hold an optimized state of being all from memory while trading a fast-moving, dynamic financial market in real time. It's just not professional, right? It's setting yourself up for failure. And after knowing the truth from our talk here, not preparing yourself is just lazy. So we talked about the first part, write down and have accessible when you're trading action steps. So what we need to do is what do we need to do to get us in a mental state, right? The second part, and maintain that long enough to keep the results in our trading over time. So we're going to focus on how you should feel trading. Confident and clear on what you're doing, how you're seeing the world and seeing the market from a place of memory that is filtered from I am competent, successful trader mindset. Don't just try to rely on recalling this action plan or this state of being, because our brains are wacky, right? We have this recall filter hurdle. So we write it down so it's more easily accessible and accurately recalled. So to start on your state of being, you can write down 3 to 5 affirmations that embody how you feel as an accomplished day trader. Simple things such as, I always follow my plan and expect great results. I know my stats and a loss doesn't ever affect me. I'm rested, focused, and confident. I know exactly what to do and I do it consistently. I enjoy making thousands of dollars daily from my trading business. I'm a millionaire day trader. I make hundreds of thousands following my trading plan. I love the life I live as an accomplished day trader. My trading daily is easy and profitable, constantly and consistently. Those are just some examples, right? You need your own. So give it some serious thought and avoid making affirmations that solve today's problems. Like, I'm a trader that doesn't lose 300 today, right? Not only is that focused on the problem, but it's short-sighted. These affirmations should be written statements written from a clear point of established accomplishment, right? You've already accomplished all your trading goals. Who are you? Write the affirmations from that perspective. This is a mental exercise that you need to invest time in. So imagine who you are once you've accomplished all your trading goals and dreams. Think from that place and state in these short I am phrases who you are in that reality. If you feel really good after visualizing and you want to capture that good energy, record it, right? Record yourself saying these. But either way, write it down, 3 to 5 statements, right? Just a general starting point. Of course, you can do more. You don't want to be too all over the place, right? Because our goal is focus. But you want to be feeling like these statements are fact. They're natural assumptions as true, just as true as your name is to you, right? When you're asked if your name is so-and-so, right? It's so natural to say yes. You're like, yeah. So you need to wear these statements just as naturally as you wear your name. Like, yeah, that's me. No doubt about it. Neville Goddard talks about practicing our ideal state is like trying on clothes. You need to wear these clothes so often that they fit comfortably. And this is an example of the spiritual work that a lot of people shy away from doing. They want to change reality instead of change what changes reality. We are building an optimized state of being for a professional trading career with the result of profitability and consistency. We so far have talked about 2 of the main 3 parts. 1, a written plan of action. 2, a written ideal to attach to. And the third piece we need to support ensuring we have these things embodied when we start the trading session is routine. It can be accomplished with a morning routine, right? To help us embody and hold on to this. A set of action steps to take before you start trading so you're in the right mindset going into that session. So now that you have a clear goal for your state of being, right? Those affirmations and feeling like that, to achieve this before you trade, you need a routine that leads to that state. It's a warm up, if you will, right? That's a good example because when I'm relating this to sports. As an athlete playing American football, when I did my pregame stretching and my set of drills, my body would start to get excitement, right? My muscle memory was like, oh yeah, we know what these actions lead to. It's time for some head busting, right? So my body will react by recalling that energy and that excitement, like, oh yeah, we about to do this. And I don't remember the drills now, but I know for a fact, if I went outside and went through that routine, my body, right, physically can't do it, but my body, internally automatically would start to feel a certain type of way, even though it's been decades, right? Because I hammered in that behavior, right? And how to get to that state. So of course you need to take care of the basics, right? Because they're going to block you from getting into that state. So hydration, rest, energy, food, right? You need to take care of the foundational stuff so no survival nervous system parts of you start to arise. What also needs to be in your pre-trade session routine is rehearsing your affirmations. So you're in a good state, right? From a survival standpoint, not thirsty, not hungry, not tired. And you're implementing these affirmations. So let me tell you how to make them more powerful than just reading them before your trading session. Along with saying these affirmations, it's going to be helpful to have some physical body cues. In NLP, this is called an anchor. An anchor is an added detail associated with your ideal state that helps you get back to it and pull it into the now so you can use it in your trading. So maybe you're saying the affirmations while also doing certain hand movements, right? Maybe rubbing your hands together. Maybe the pinch technique. When you say those affirmations and you're squeezing your earlobe every time you say it. And eventually, squeezing your earlobe is going to be associated with those affirmations and that energy. So by adding some physical action associated and a movement, a specific movement while rehearsing your statements, you'll strengthen the rope to pull those emotions with. And this means basically you're strengthening the neural pathways. The more you use this routine consistently, just like a pregame warm up, the more your body adopts it as a prompt to feel and act a certain way. This pre-trade session routine will help you lock in that feeling before you take action, so your actions are filtered through a success mindset. You're seeing clearly. Just the same state of being a master trader would have doing your system. They would be seeing clearly because they have a good state of being. So let's close this out with a few more tools to help this path. Now listen, it's not enough to achieve that peak state of being during trading solely. You have to become that person in all times and aspects of your life. So in order to walk that path, you need to be consistently removing old, false, negative, disempowering memories. Those are the old guard. And they've been there so long, right, that a lot of times we don't even notice them. Just in our subconscious lurking till we bring them to the light. So to remove these things, you do it by ignoring them. When they arise, give them little attention. Your ability to watch these thoughts and not be consumed by them, not talk to them, not engage with them, not converse with them, it can be improved, right? Your ability to do that can be improved with the practice of meditation, right? If you're just sitting quietly with the goal of relaxing your mind, not giving attention to thoughts, then the thoughts will still flow for the most part, but you can just watch them like clouds go by, right? Don't entertain them. Don't converse with them. Focus on your breathing. The more you meditate, the better you'll get at ignoring undesired thoughts. And because these undesired thoughts, they weaken you. But when you ignore them, you weaken them. And that old self starts to weaken. And once it's weak, you can start to enhance a new you that's a successful, consistent day trader. So another power tip is, to meditate before reading your affirmation statements. And this allows you to place your ideals on a cleaner slate versus adding them to a hectic mind where they'll surely be destroyed by the old, less empowering thoughts who are currently the veterans of your mind. Best time to do these affirmations, of course, before the session, you're getting into this peak state, but before you go to bed, when you wake up, great time, right? The veil into the subconscious is thin at these times. The state of being human is intrinsically tied to our physical existence, right? So we're always doing this spiritual work on all fronts. There are two keys to successfully working on your state of being that I want to talk about, and understanding the state of being. We have to understand that we are inhabiting a body with sensory experiences. So that physical tie to your affirmations, that ear pinch, whatever physical action that you want to tie to it, it's super important. And then you have to understand that these biological needs and drives can trump and become priority over us changing. So we have to make sure that we've met or released any bodily needs before taking any of this action. Don't be hungry, tired, or holding on to any kind of feelings of lack. You have to find ways to let go. Last thing, because I walked this path for so long, let me provide another tool, last tool here that we often talk about, but I want to mention it now because it was on the same thought path that we're on right now, in which I knew I needed it. I had the written plan, right? I knew exactly what to do, no gray areas. I meditated, right? I feel like my best self. I have nothing blocking my best focus and action. Then bam, setback. And this could be anything that knocks us off our peak state, right? People distracting, bothering you, tech issues, right? It could be just a loss that you took and can't let go of. Maybe you missed an opportunity, went to the bathroom, came back, the market had shot in the direction you thought, but you couldn't hold it any longer. I don't know, what it is, but I know yourself and life will do its best to test you. You'll find creative ways to snap yourself back into the old self, and circumstances will test you as you attempt to make your turn towards greater things, but they want to force you to turn back to the familiar and forsake the path of change. And understanding this is how I came up with the growth tool that we call in this community the reaction method. You all know it, so I won't go into great detail here, but as an overview, when you have set this up, you're going to face challenges, and they will try to get you out of a peak state. And we can grade and judge ourselves on how well we react to these hurdles and these changes. The goal being decrease the time it takes you to bounce back to a peak state after that hurdle. So this is us noticing the internal dialogue, the actions we take when things don't go our way. Do you make a mistake and start degrading yourself? I'm dumb, I'm stupid, what the hell? Well, next time, just do it a little bit less. Do you yell at the top of your lungs as a reaction to a setback? Well, yell a little less louder next time. Slight improvement, but you're on the improvement path. Always be trying to react in a better way. This game by playing this game, it makes you proactive and a fighter for your dreams. And if you aren't fighting, you're going to get backed up, stomped out, and you're going to be the same person. You'll never change. You'll be forced back into the same actions and the same mistakes. Your energy will be weakened, and the gap between you and your ideal state of being will continue to widen until you've been chased back to the old self. And you'll just have to say, that wasn't for me. And you see people on that path all the time. That it's a scam. I felt like a gambler, right? All the things that quitters say. Using the information, this becomes a GPS towards your personal success. And you can't let your GPS screen go dark, right? Imagine if you're driving in a new city and navigating, and then the navigation in the car goes out and you're going to be lost, right? And when you feel lost, that's one of the 3 trader killing hurdles. And it's one of the 3 main things, right, from my research that forces traders to quit, along with being lost and alone. So when you feel lost, it's likely because your GPS was never turned on or it went dark. But setting up and implementing this information from today's show will have you with a more solid navigation and the means to get the navigation screen back on when you're not in that mental state, right? Because you're not trying to recall the navigation from memory, because our memory doesn't always work for us. You're trying to recall it from written statements. Thank you for listening. I'm praying for the best of everyone who hears this. Here's to being the hero of your story. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Trading Ascension Podcast. I hope you found valuable insights to help you on your day trading journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support by subscribing and leaving reviews helps me reach more traders like you and continue to provide this valuable content. Don't forget to head over to the tradingascension.com website for free resources, more tips, and exclusive content. If you can't wait till the next show, check out some of the previous episodes. They're great. But do join me on the next episode. And until then, keep ascending, stay mindful, and remember, your journey to mastering trading psychology for consistent profits starts with your willingness to embrace personal growth.